Viewers, welcome to another tutorial video from Edenite Technologies. Before we continue, do well to like, subscribe and also share our videos. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to design a website interface. This is basically a beginner's class and it will be divided into two sections. We will focus on HTML elements in this tutorial, and in the second part, we will be discussing HTML attributes. And for the purpose of this video, we'll be learning with our Visual Studio Code, that's our VS Code, so do well to download and install it on your system. The Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML, is the standard markup language for documents designed to be displayed in a web browser. It defines the content and structure of web content. It is often assisted by technologies such as CSS and scripting languages such as JavaScript. A HTML element usually contains a start tag and an end tag, and we should note that the end tag always has a forward slash. We can see the P, which stands for the paragraph content, the start tag and the end tag having a forward slash, same as the H1, which has the forward slash at the end tag, and the H1 means the heading content. So now we open our VS Code, and this is what the workspace of our VS Code looks like. We then click on File, click on New File, and let's name our file edenite.html. Once we are done, we click Enter and our file has been successfully created. When writing a HTML code in VS Code, first off, we hold down our Shift key on our keyboard and press the exclamation mark. Once done, we click Enter and this appears automatically on our workspace or screen. Let's call this our template or building block, because with this, we will be able to write and create our codes. It is worthy to note that we have H1 to H6 tag, with H1 having a font size that is bigger than H2, and H2 having a font size that is bigger than H3, and so on until the last, which is the H6. So we are going to see that in our VS Code now. Heading back to our VS Code, you locate your cursor and then press the Enter key. Your cursor should be just after the body, and then when you press Enter, it enters the next line, and then we can start typing. So first, we are going to go to our keyboard, and then we'll press the less than sign, or you can call it the angle bracket. When you click on it, then you type H1 and you close the bracket. Once you close it, you will discover that the end tag automatically appears. Then you can type in between. For the purpose of this video, let's just type this is heading 1. So we are going to do this. Once you finish typing this is heading 1, go to the end of the end tag, click your Enter key, and then start typing again. In the next line, we are going to type H2, perform the same actions we performed when we are typing H1, and we are going to do this all the way down to H6. Once we are done typing, head over to your keyboard, press the Ctrl S, save your file, then we come to our menu bar and we right click on our file name, which is the edenite.html. As you can see, once we right click on it, this drop down menu appears. You click on copy path. Once you've done that, we go down to our Chrome browser because we are trying to see what we've done. When you open your Chrome browser, you open a new web page, you paste your part that you had copied earlier, paste it on your Google search bar and click enter, and this is going to pop just right out. This is what we have just done on our VS Code. So as we can rightly see, each heading decreases according to the number, or rather, as we said earlier, it increases according to the number, with H1 being the highest and H6 being the smallest. So now we'll be trying to write our paragraph content on our VS Code and then see how it appears when we paste it on our Google browser. So let's go. We're going to perform exactly just the same function we did when we were trying to write our H1 content. So just follow the same function, and then knowing fully well that our paragraph content has just the P inside the angle bracket. So we are going to do that, and we're going to show it using 2 or 3 paragraph lines. Once we are done typing, we perform the same actions as previous. We will right click on our file name, click on copy path, go to our Chrome browser, paste it and click enter. Once you've done that, you can see your paragraph appears just there. All this we've just done just represents HTML elements. In as much as we always close a HTML element with an end tag, not all HTML elements contain end tag, which means they don't need to be closed. And some of them include the HR, which is the horizontal line, and the BR, which is the break. And these elements are called void elements. Heading back to our VS Code, let's see how this horizontal line content works. So we bring our cursor just after the H6 end tag, and then we press the enter key and we start typing. This is because we are trying to create the horizontal line to be between the heading content, that is the H1 to H6, and then the paragraph content. Once we are done typing, we perform our previous function, which is the copy path, and then we paste it on our Chrome browser. Once we have done that, we can see our horizontal line has just appeared just between the heading content and the paragraph content. Next up, let's see how the break content works. The break content is usually used to break two words apart. And for the purpose of this video, we'll be adding the break content in between is and heading in H1, and then we'll also add it in between heading and for in H4. Just look at your screen. And then thirdly, we'll also add it in between paragraph and 2. This is just to show you how the break content works, because it's going to break these words apart. Like the words we're adding it in between is going to break the two of them apart, and they're no longer going to be on the same line. So now we've Copied our part, we've pasted on our Chrome browser, and as you can see, the effect has been added. So you can take your time to look at it and then discover where the break was added and where the effect took place. HTML documents consist of a tree of all these elements, and they specify how the document should be built and what kind of a content should be placed in what part of the HTML document. Then the nested HTML element means keeping one HTML element inside another. Example, we have the italics and the underline. Let's see that. Going back to our VS Code, let's try to add our nested HTML element, which is the underline function and the italics function. We'll be adding the underline function or the underline content on the H4, making sure your sentence is between the open tag of the underline and also the end tag. And then for the italics content or the function, we'll be adding it in between is and heading 2 at the H2 line, and then also make sure that your sentence is in between the open and the end tag. Don't forget to always save before you copy your part so that your work can reflect when you paste it on your Google Chrome browser. Once we've pasted that on our Google Chrome browser, you can take your time to look, and then you notice that these actions were applied just where we coded them on our VS Code. Coming to the end of this video, I'll be teaching you one last thing you can add if you want to centralize your text. So you come above the text where you want to centralize, you add your center content, that's your less than sign, type center in between, close the bracket, and then copy the end tag, place it at the end of where you want to centralize your text. Then you save, copy part, and then paste it on your browser. And then once you've done that, you can see that your text has been centralized. So this is basically it for the first part of this tutorial. Do tune in for the second part of the tutorial where we'll be talking about the HTML attributes. Thank you.